in LA because that was Meghan's dream. Her dream was to be an A-lister, and she was unable to make it to those A-list parties.
Duchess of Sussex. Yep, her and Prince Harry have landed a new podcast deal after parting ways with Spotify.
Now, I don't care at all for the Harry and Meghan thing, except for the political undertones of somebody saying,
"What if I told you that almost everything you thought you knew about Meghan Markle was a carefully crafted illusion?" When Candace Owens was asked about Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, she didn't flinch. She went straight for the jugular, dismissing her racism claims, brushing off her sob stories about palace silencing. But then someone whispered 6 little words that made the entire conversation stop cold. What about the daughter she left behind? That's when Candace did what no royal watcher, no Hollywood blogger, no tabloid hack had ever dared to do. She looked right into the camera and said the one thing that could shatter Meghan's perfect fairy tale forever. Walking away from your own child is different.
My goodness, I can't believe you, Colin.
Now, the Sussexes have copped it from comedian Colin Johnson.
And with that, the internet lost its mind. Those words spread like wildfire. Not just trending, but slicing open a wound Meghan has tried to bury for nearly 3 decades. Because hidden in the shadows of Chicago is a truth so explosive it could turn Meghan from the doting mother of Archie and Lilibet into the woman who once abandoned her own baby girl. And trust me, this is just the beginning. If you want to know what really happened during Meghan's so-called gap year, the sealed records that will never see daylight, and why her team is more terrified of Chicago than Buckingham Palace itself, stick with me. What you're about to hear could change everything you thought you knew about the Duchess.
Power isn't some random internet gossip. He's an 85-year-old royal biographer who spent...
Let's rewind. Summer of 1994. Meghan Markle should have been living her golden moment. Freshly graduated from Immaculate Heart High School, while her classmates were off planning wild beach trips, decorating their new dorm rooms, and prepping for college life, Meghan had something very different in mind. According to whispers close to the Giuliano family, 18-year-old Meghan didn't just toss her cap in the air and party all summer. She hopped on a plane to Nevada, and she wasn't chasing parties. She wasn't chasing freedom. She was chasing a wedding. Picture this, a small, dimly lit Las Vegas chapel. No photographers, no couture gowns, no bridesmaids giggling in pastel dresses, just Meghan, a quiet young man named Joe Giuliano, 2 family witnesses, a friend flown in from Chicago, and vows whispered so quickly you'd miss them if you blinked.
Something is seriously off about the way Meghan Markle and Prince Harry handled the births of their children. And now it's...
This wasn't the royal spectacle she'd later orchestrate with Prince Harry. No carriages, no tiaras. This was a wedding meant to be hidden, erased from memory before it even had a chance to breathe. Joe Giuliano wasn't some teen crush or Hollywood fling. He came from a traditional Italian-American family, the type that believed in Sunday dinners, church every week, and the old-school idea that you settle down young, start a family early, and keep your private life locked tight.
Well, Meghan Markle finally landed another Netflix deal, and for a brief second it looked like she was back in the driver's seat.
But Meghan was already dreaming about Northwestern University, red carpets, and camera flashes. She saw stages, scripts, and stardom. Their worlds couldn't have been further apart, yet somehow they ended up standing side by side in that Vegas chapel, sealing a bond that would become Meghan's most dangerous secret. The marriage didn't even last a year. Within months, Meghan filed for an annulment, and here's where things get chilling. Most annulments, they're public record, easy to dig up, but Meghan's sealed tighter than Fort Knox. To this day, Clark County officials refuse to even confirm it exists. Why go to such extreme lengths if it was just a teenage mistake? Why bury it so deep, so fast? The answer, according to insiders, lies in what happened during those short months of marriage.
It started with a smile. Not a fake one, but the kind that feels practiced, polished, even weaponized.
Meghan's official biography glosses over it all in a single neat line. Graduated in 1994, took a gap year, enrolled at Northwestern in fall 1995. She's repeated that same version in interview after interview. She claimed she traveled the world, soaking up different cultures, finding herself before college. Sounds perfect, right? A little too perfect, because when researchers tried to verify Meghan's gap year, they hit a brick wall. No program records, no visas, no stamps in her passport, no friends recalling exotic trips, not a single snapshot. And for a woman who would later chronicle every moment of her life online, the silence from that year is deafening. That missing year lines up exactly with a far more scandalous rumor. Meghan wasn't traveling the world at all. She was pregnant, and by mid-1995, according to whispers from people close to the Giulianos, a baby girl was born in Chicago, not in Los Angeles under Hollywood's glare, not in some Beverly Hills hospital. In Chicago, quietly, privately, under Joe's family's roof. Insiders say the arrangement was clear from the start. The Giulianos would raise the baby. Meghan would walk away free, no custody battles, no court drama, no paper trail connecting her to the child. This wasn't just about hiding a teenage pregnancy. This was about erasing an entire chapter of her life. While other young mothers were learning how to change diapers and survive sleepless nights, Meghan was already perfecting the art of burying inconvenient truths. The Giuliano family's silence over the years has been eerie, almost supernatural. And while most families love to show off baby pictures and brag about milestones, with this little girl, nothing. Not a word. Neighbors remembered whispers, though. A young girl showing up at Giuliano family gatherings. Never introduced, never acknowledged, just there. And when curious neighbors asked who she was, relatives brushed it off with a quick, "She's one of ours," before changing the subject. One neighbor claimed she once overheard a chilling fragment. "She was Meghan's before she was ours." Not a headline, not a tabloid payday, just quiet recollections from ordinary people who had no reason to invent lies. And yet, their stories matched. Year after year, the whispers refused to die. And here's the haunting part. If those whispers are true, Meghan's hidden daughter is nearly 30 years old today. Somewhere in Chicago, she's living like any ordinary woman. Going to work, visiting family, walking down streets where no one has the faintest clue she could be tied by blood to one of the most famous women alive. Reports even suggest she's a mirror image of Meghan. Same eyes, same bone structure, same presence. And yet, in the official record, she doesn't exist exactly as Meghan wanted it. By the time Meghan was strutting down red carpets and standing next to Prince Harry in royal circles, this entire chapter of her life had been so thoroughly erased it was like it had never happened. The girl in Chicago became a ghost. Meghan reinvented herself as the woman who captured a prince. But when Candace Owens made that bold statement about mothers abandoning their children, the internet didn't just gasp, it detonated. TikTok creators pounced, splicing timelines together. On one side, Meghan's polished gap year story. On the other, rumors of a sealed annulment. Reddit exploded. Thousands of users built digital family trees connecting every Giuliano relative they could track down. YouTubers froze frames from Meghan's interviews where she played up motherhood, then placed them side by side with whispers of a missing daughter. One viral edit was devastating. Meghan's Oprah interview, where she said softly, "I just wanted to be a mom." Then, a hard cut to speculation about the child she supposedly left behind. The contradiction was so sharp it sent chills down spines. Suddenly, Meghan's most loyal supporters began to waver. Comment after comment flooded in. "I can excuse royal racism, but abandoning your own child? That's different, and that's the thing." This wasn't palace gossip about tiaras or feuds with Kate. This wasn't about Netflix contracts or Spotify deals. This was about blood, family, character. Candace Owens hadn't just sparked another round of royal drama. She'd ripped open a question that went straight to the heart of Meghan's carefully constructed image. The internet became relentless. Digital sleuths scoured every appearance Meghan made in 1994 and 1995, searching for signs of pregnancy or proof of travel. They found nothing. The silence was louder than any denial. Reddit turned into ground zero for timeline autopsies. Users dissected Meghan's every statement about her so-called gap year, comparing them with university enrollment dates, travel records, even the Giuliano family's movements. The more they dug, the shakier her story became. YouTube creators dove in next. They crafted documentary-style videos, treating Meghan's missing year like a cold case. Former classmates were interviewed, graduation photos analyzed. Even Las Vegas chapel records from 1994 were hunted down. And the algorithm loved it. Millions of views poured in. People who had never cared about Meghan Markle suddenly found themselves binge-watching theory after theory. Hollywood insiders whispered nervously, "If this rumor sticks, Meghan's entire brand could crumble overnight." One producer told a journalist, "Audiences will forgive a lot, but they don't forgive fake authenticity." That was the heart of it. Meghan's post-royal career was built on being authentic, on being the truth teller, the protective mother. But if she'd buried something this massive for 30 years, that image collapses. Commentators drew comparisons to other scandals. Jack Nicholson, who discovered late in life his sister was actually his mother. Steve Jobs, whose complicated relationship with his first daughter haunted him until the end. The lesson? People can look past many sins, but abandonment? That one never fades. And here's the cruel irony. Meghan has spent years weaponizing silence, sealing records, refusing to address rumors, dodging questions. But in today's digital world, silence isn't strength. Silence is suspicion. The longer she stays quiet, the more people assume she has something to hide. It's no wonder palace insiders are reportedly smirking. They don't have to say a word. Meghan's silence is doing the work for them. And let's be clear, this isn't just about royal gossip anymore. This isn't about tiaras, feuds with Kate, or Netflix's bottom line. This is about character, about motherhood, about the most primal bond of all, blood. The internet never forgets, and it never stops digging. 30 years ago, Meghan could bury a marriage, walk away from a child, and reinvent herself as a Hollywood starlet. But today, every lie, every gap in the story, every sealed record becomes a flashing neon sign screaming, There's more here than she's telling you, and Candace Owens ripped that wound wide open. Now Meghan stands on a cliff's edge. Her career, her reputation, even her marriage, all balancing on the thinnest thread of silence. Because the day the truth surfaces, the day the whispers out of Chicago turn into a voice that can no longer be ignored, the Meghan Markle we know collapses. She won't be remembered as the woman who fought racism in the palace. She won't be remembered as the woman who bravely told her truth to Oprah. She'll be remembered as the mother who erased her own child. And that's why these whispers aren't going away. They're getting louder. Louder with every TikTok, every Reddit thread, every frozen frame of Meghan's polished interviews. Louder with every meme that contrasts Archie and Lilibet's baby photos with the haunting phrase, "the child she erased." Somewhere in Chicago, a truth waits. Whether it's a woman ready to claim her identity, a document that finally leaks, or a DNA test that ends decades of secrecy, something is out there. And Meghan knows it. That's why her team is terrified. Not of Buckingham Palace, not of the tabloids, but of time itself. Because time has a way of dragging buried secrets back to the surface. And when it does, Meghan Markle's carefully built empire of authenticity and truth could collapse in an instant. So I'll leave you with this. What do you think? Could Meghan Markle really have hidden such a secret for nearly 3 decades? Or is this just another wild conspiracy fueled by internet sleuths? The evidence may be circumstantial, but the silence is deafening. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe the rumors? Or do you think this is internet speculation gone too far? Because one thing is certain, this story is not over, and the next revelation, it just might be the one that changes everything.